So, have you ever been on a trip that looked amazing online, but turned out to be a total disaster? Of course, let's talk about the South American cities. Travelers say they will never visit again, and why? So, South America is full of magic, from Machu Picchu to Rio de Janeiro's beaches, but not every city is a dream come true. Some places leave tourists saying, I wish I knew before I booked. So today we are diving into the worst cities to visit in South America and what makes them so tricky for travelers. So, first of all, let's be very clear about this. These cities are not bad places. They just surprise tourists in ways they don't expect. So, South America is beautiful, they are colorful and full of magic. But just like candy, not every flavor is for everyone. And that is why today we are sharing cities in South America tourists often regret visiting and why. So you don't make the same mistakes. So, and of course, we're going to start with Caracas, Venezuela. Of course, this place is once a vibrant capital. Of course, it is known for safety concerns and the tourists report feeling uneasy walking around these cities, especially at night. So it is not about the people. Of course, Venezuelans are warm and welcoming, but the city's instability makes it a tough destination right now. So the second city on our list is going to be Guayaquil, Ecuador. Of course, this place is very busy and important. But tourists often say it feels too hot, too crowded, and of course, hard to relax. So if you are looking for calm vibes and good streets, of course, this city can feel overwhelming. Then moving down to the third cities on our list, we have Lima, Peru. Of course, Lima has got amazing food. But many travelers say the city feels great, crowded and chaotic. The traffic in Lima is horrible and the air pollution can make sightseeing less fun. So, locals love it, but, tourists often expect ancient ruins and end up stuck in smog. So, of course, it is like ordering ice cream and getting soup instead. Then moving down to the fourth city on our list, we have La Paz, Bolivia. Of course, this place is one of the highest cities in the world. Literally. Of course, the views in La Paz are jaw-dropping. But, the altitude can make visitors dizzy, tired, and sometimes even sick. So, La Paz looks amazing in photos because they've got good mountain. It is very colorful and they've got good culture. But like I said, the surprise thing in La Paz is it is very high up and sometimes it makes tourists feel dizzy, tired, or even sick. So even walking around La Paz feels like running a marathon. So it is like your body saying, hey, we forgot to practice for this. So moving down to the fifth city on our list, we have Sao Paulo, Brazil. Of course, Sao Paulo is another city that divides travelers. Of course, it's very huge. Sao Paulo is very huge, like mega huge. Sao Paulo has got skyscrapers, they have got traffic jam, and they've got cool vibes. But some people love the art and the nightlife in Sao Paulo, but others says it feels overwhelming and lacks the tropical charm they expected from Brazil. So Sao Paulo is basically more business than beaches. So and finally we have Bogota, Colombia. So of course Bogota have got good culture. They've got museum and they've got good vibe. But the problem here is the weather. Of course, it is very cold and rainy most of the year in Bogota. So many tourists expect sunny vibes like Cartagena, then arrive to gray skies and chilly air. Of course, it is not bad, but just not what most travelers imagine when they picture, Colombia. So, but the thing is that every worst city has its fans. Of course, sometimes what one traveler hates, another one loves. Maybe Lima's chaos feels alive to some, or maybe La Paz altitude feels like an adventure to some. The key is knowing what you want from your trip and picking cities that match your vibe. The moment you discover what you want, if you want beaches, culture, calm or chaos. The moment you discover what you want from your trips, then you pick the right city that match your vibe, So, are these cities really the worst in South America? Of course, not really, not exactly, They are just misunderstood. Every place has its magic and its mess, The trick is to travel smart, stay curious, and of course, always do a little research before you pack your bags, So, which city surprised you the most? Of course, drop your opinion in the comment down below.